good. The light's on.
All right, so sometimes I may get a little bit overboard about food. So sue me. These donuts are delicious. And by the way, I don't know if you've had the other kind of donuts. I mean, I just like the plain ones, but there are other donuts featured here. Here in this case, for example, they've got glazed cream filled donuts, chocolate iced cream donuts, chocolate iced sprinkles, all the way down. I don't like those kind, I don't like those kind, I don't like those kind. Chocolate iced custard filled, I like those. Featured donut, cinnamon bun donuts, maple iced glazed donuts, glazed blueberry donuts. Can you imagine? I don't know. Those are fancy donuts, but there's just something about the plain donuts that are covered in icing that I like. Don't tell anybody because I'm on a diet. This is one of my favorite places in the restaurant. Krispy Kreme has done something ingenious here. Is they built this little ramp here where kids and people like me who like to watch the process of food being cooked could stand and watch what's going on here. I want to walk across here and explain to you how donuts are made. It starts out where they mix the dough. Don't know how that looks, but they mix the dough and they form it into these tiny little donut type shapes. Boy, that can be labor intensive. But then they place them strategically on these conveyor belts here, and I think this is where the dough is actually rising. That would be my guess, but not really sure. I just think it's cool to look at. Ultimately, they'll be dropping into some hot oil here where they're deep fried. It's kind of hard to see that gadget inside underneath that machine, but the conveyor belt actually flips the donut, placing the other side in the hot oil. Isn't that cool? All right, so we have the donuts. They're floating, floating, floating. Okay, are you ready for this? This is the most exciting part. Watch how these donuts are now totally submerged into icing. That's milk and sugar. I wonder if they'd let me put a cup underneath there and just collect the icing. Can you imagine that? All right. Now I guess this is where the work all begins, where these donuts are strategically placed into these boxes, just right, hand placed into these boxes. Hey, sir, did you know the light's on? The light's on, do you know what that means? That means I get a free donut.
I don't get it.
I have a free donut?
No, sir. You already.
I already had one?
You've already had one.
I can't have two? Where's that rule at? People say that Krispy Kreme started in 1937 back in North Carolina, but I hate to tell them they're wrong. No, Krispy Kreme started way back in biblical times. And the same progression that a donut takes is the same progression that a Christian takes, a new believer, someone that's given their life over to the Lord. Paul talks about a man by the name of Crispus. In fact, he was a synagogue leader. In fact, I think his name was Crispus Krameth. Not sure, I'll have to check my Greek. Crispus gave his life to the Lord. And so Paul then encouraged him to immediately go out and get baptized. That was important for him as a Christian. So the question for you and I is, where do you line up? Where are you on the conveyor belt of life? Where are you? Are you just going around and around and around? Are you being immersed into God's sweetness through water baptism? Are you allowing yourself to be placed in a box or placed into a local church where you can get involved? And then are you going out and feeding others in your life? These are a series of questions that all of us need to ask as Christians.